This is our reaction to the AI discussion of the book. It's never too late sometimes.
The way they pieced it together, that I was able to balance education while taking care of the family and taking care of Samantha's illness at the same time. The way they pieced it together was quite traumatic. I listening to it, it didn't seem as if I actually lived that life. It was unbelievable because I don't know how I handle all those processes, but it happened. It's the facts, and they brought it together really good.
We've talked about this for 20 plus years, and you just use a word I can't remember you ever using. You said it was quite traumatic. So, if it was traumatic, do you think you today could easily just redo everything?
No, no, no. I don't know. I don't think so. Yes, it seems like an impossible feat. It seems like a feat that would exhaust you each and every day. Yeah.
Talking about exhaustion, the AI discussion talked about how exhausted you were
Oh, yeah, that's
sometimes.
right.
They
That's
even
right.
caught you dozing off in a parking lot.
That is correct. I mean, when I look back onto those things, it really jerked me. Actually, just listening to our AI piece it together brought tears to my eyes because it's the fact. But while going through it, I never stopped to think about it or say, "Wow, this is hard. This is I just live. I just live it.
Mhm.
I just carried out everything that was required. I just live."
Yeah, you talk about how it impacted you badly. You remember the first day we listened to the AI recording?
Yeah, we
Both.
weep.
Well, let put it this way. I started bawling. I
That's right.
started crying. It was so impactful. I couldn't believe the things that you went through. I'm like, really? Did this happen? You were so tired, you're driving home, or you had to be pulling off on the side just to ensure that you can keep driving, stay awake to keep driving. You had
Right.
to be splashing water on your
That is
face to keep
correct.
moving. And
Yes.
other times you had to be taking a nap for 5 or 10 minutes.
That's right.
And it brought tears to my eyes. And then you came over to console me, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And I
And
ended up crying too because the recording was still going on
yeah.
and just hearing more and more and more. And it's like, wow, this hit home really hard. It hits home. Yeah.
And then because you were crying, it just so happened there other people came to console you.
That's
Talk about
right.
that.
Yes. And then both of us were there crying. And then our two daughters came over and asked what's happening. And I just pointed to the TV because the AI was playing on there.
On YouTube.
And then one of my daughter asked if we need a hug. And I said yes. And the four of us just cuddled together. And Cleveland and I was just weeping.
I don't
And they were
know.
just rubbing our backs,
Yeah.
consoling us, and we just weep until the until the end of
The podcast.
the podcast. That's right.
Yeah. And I don't know. The podcast is about 23 minutes, so they could have been there hugging and rubbing our backs for maybe 15 minutes,
That is correct.
possibly.
Yeah,
I had
about 15 minutes. Yeah.
about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I had no sense of time.
Yeah.
Then, but it was really moving, and that wasn't the only time. We listened to it again the next
Mm-hmm.
day, and I couldn't handle it anymore.
True.
By the third day, I said to you, I can't listen anymore.
Right. Right.
I felt like I was gonna like I couldn't lose my breath, like I couldn't breathe anymore. It
Yeah.
was so impactful.
Yeah.
Even that, though this was an artificial intelligence engine speaking
Mm-hmm.
about us, but we have never heard voices talking about our
That is
experiences.
true. That is true.
But
True.
the human voices are
Right.
artificially generated.
Yeah.
So it really had an impact on us.
Yeah.
I would say maybe after the fifth, sixth day, that's when I started to be able to listen to it
That is
in an
correct.
objective way
Right.
and
Yes.
not get emotional.
That is true. Yeah, it is very true. It is quite an interesting podcast to listen to. I really enjoyed listening to it after days after when I was more comfortable and stronger to endure everything that was said. because it's just hard to believe that we had lived that life. It's just
Sure.
hard to believe because we never have anyone from the outside looking in to come and say, wow, this is what you guys are going through. No. So us listening to it, it's like, wow, this really happened. While going through it, we never felt that way at all.
No,
I never, we just pick up the cards that are being dealt to us and we just deal with them.
we just played the cards.
Yeah,
We
we just
just
play the cards.
went to
Yeah.
work. We just went to see kids. We
Yeah.
just did what we were
Yeah.
supposed to do.
Everything that we needed to get done. I mean, the days, it's, I often look at it like this, that life this, throws us on this pathway and we just dealt with it. We just go along with it and do what is necessary. We just do what is to be done. Because there are days when waiting on Samantha's transfusion and it's getting late, and I'm watching the clock. It's gonna be soon to get back home to pick up the two other kids from school, and then like it's getting late. And I know once this transfusion comes, we're going to need 1 hour for it to be infused into Samantha, and then another 10-20 minutes for them to check her over and see if she's all right to leave the hospital. And I'm checking the time and I said, okay, it's now 1 o'clock. If that transfusion is not here, I'm going to be late picking up the other kids. So during those times, I have to call the school, tell them the situation, ask them if they could keep the children in the office. So because I'm running late, Samantha's treatment is not here yet, and it's going to take an hour for it to be transfused, and all those things. And looking back, I said, "Wow, I have to really give credit to the receptionist at the school,
Which school
because
was that?
that was Vista Heights Public
Vista
School.
Heights Public School in
She
Mississauga.
never said no. I mean, it is not recommended that the receptionist look after the children after the school bell rings. It's not a recommendation, but she was just so understanding. She never turned me down, even though happened a few times. And she was just always ready and willing to say, okay, Mrs. Stanberry, I'll call their classroom and let them know to come to the office instead of going to the bus stop.
Yes. So shout out
And
to
that,
that receptionist
yes, 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 I'm forever grateful to her for being so
Vista Heights.
understanding and caring, and appreciate that very, very much. And a few times it happened, and I was really happy because I didn't have no one else to call to take care of the children.
Mhm.
No one else to call and say, the children are coming home from school at this time of the day. Can you pick them up from the bus stop? No, there was just no one else. I
So
just have to rely on the school.
there was the worry of not only getting the transfusion done effectively that day while I had
Right,
sick kids,
right.
but also worrying that, oh, I need to get back to Mississauga to pick up the children from school.
That's
And many
right.
of those times I'd been in another country
Exactly.
traveling for
Yes,
work.
exactly.
Um, and one of the things that AI talks about is how it connects, talking about work, how it connects how you left your corporate job. You started making that analysis a year before you left. And the same week that you left, 1 year later, is
Yeah.
when Samantha got sick. And I never even saw it in that realm that, oh, Yvonne left her corporate job, Samantha got sick. Same week she left, and then you ended up in the hospital with Samantha. And then this whole thing continued for another 20 years.
That's
You
right.
being at sick kids with Samantha, and you have to rush back and pick up the children from school. And then it spoke about how Cleveland was the sole breadwinner, and
Right,
sometimes I wasn't even
right.
home when those things were
Yes,
happening.
that's
I am
right. Yes,
2,000 miles away in another country
that's right.
while all of this happening was happening. All of these things were happening. Sometimes I said 2,000 miles. It was long farther than that. In some cases,
Right.
when I used to be away in Latin America and the Caribbean, working to take care of the family.
Yes,
But it worked out well
that's
to
right.
the extent that our children are now all grown adults, and Samantha actually is now doing her master's on her way to be qualified to sit her bar exam and qualified to become a lawyer. as she works in a law firm doing exactly the things that she wanted to do in life.
That's
So
right.
that was awesome.
Yes,
That was an awesome outcome, but
right.
hearing the AI talk about it was really an emotional roller coaster that we went on
That's
in the
right.
past several weeks
Yeah.
as we listened to this
Yeah.
AI discussion.
And another excellent piece out there, how AI put together was when he talks about Cleveland. It said how Cleveland matriculate from not being not having a degree to having a published paper. That was like, wow, I never look at it like that. And then also started school later in life and then later having tea with royalty. And it's like, wow, that's put together so well because it's actually true. He had tea with
Princess Anne,
Princess Anne, your royal Princess Anne. And that was really, really good. It was good. It was like a payback or a recognition to say to Cleveland, we've seen your struggles. We've seen your struggles. Here is some free time because out of maybe like 3,000 graduates, he was one of 20 who get that opportunity to have tea with the Princess Royal Anne. And that was very good. It was like a reward for your hard work because you're juggling school, juggling family responsibility as a sole breadwinner, and you just did everything well and graduated with honors and merit. It's beautiful how it was put together and so well fitting for you to be having tea with Royal.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for saying that. I didn't see it that way until we heard it.
That's right.
Even though it is the reality of our lives, we never had that type of a discussion making those kinds of connections.
No,
Because
no,
frankly, maybe to all of the viewers, we've never had a moment prior to writing the book to sit down and connect all of these together.
that's right.
We
Yeah,
were just living and going through this moment up
that's right.
until 2024, which was the very first time that Samantha alone went for her, by then it was annual checkup to do
Right,
all the blood works and see what's
right,
going on with her
right.
platelets and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
We never really had a chance. We just knew that, oh, the appointments are every other day at Sick Kids. The appointments now are every week at Sick Kids. The
right.
appointments now are twice per month.
That's
It's
right.
once per month. It's
Yes,
every 2 months. It's every three
right.
months.
Yes,
Our calendars were just being run that way until it was every 6 months.
that's right.
And then
Yeah.
fortunately, when it went to every year, we are like, yay, let's do it in the summer and we all
Yes.
can go
Yeah.
and it's
That's right.
warm and
Yeah.
so forth. And all the way until Samantha was maybe 18, 19, when it moved from Sick Kids to Sunnybrook.
That's right.
And
Yes.
then we all were still going to
Yes. Yeah.
Sunnybrook.
Yes.
So
Right.
we
Yeah.
never really paused and say, hey, let's reflect. We were just living our lives and
Hmm.
just going through management of this
That
disease
is true. Yes. Yeah.
to now where the AI is bringing the discussion of the summary to us, where we're seeing that, hey, all of these things happened. So just like you said about me going back to school, getting an undergrad and a master's later in life in my 40s and 50s, I never looked at it through those lenses
Right.
from high school. Similarly with you, the AI really brought out how you went back to school. You struggled with certain concepts in statistic chi-squared. I know you're a chi-squared expert. She is. And that all of that time you were taking some statistics
That is correct. Yes. And volunteering too
and
at the school.
volunteering. Wow, and
Yeah.
volunteering at the school. It was awesome. Now I will probably wrap up here, but any final words? If there are none, that's okay.
No, no final words as except to encourage everyone to either listen to the podcast or purchase the book. It's never too late sometimes.